This is Margaret Ann Windsor. My real name's Peggy Ann Childers. Um, so I won't get into that. I was kidnapped and brought up here in 41 at age 2. I'll say that much. Because I've got a lot of YouTube and Facebook up, and I'm hoarse this morning, so hope you can hear it. I had a letter from the FBI because I did a manuscript, but uh, wow, I played heck getting it published. I was almost killed instead. I thought that was why all the problems, but it was because of who I am. I found out in 1983 my father's Edward VIII, and there was a plot to take him down with character assassination, and man, did they take him down. The Sir Winston Churchills, the Eisenhower, who later became president. All the presidents knew. I know now they've all known. Their national security advisors. Even certainly Jimmy Carter knew. And I had liked him. But the point I wanted to make here was part of that, what went on in Atlanta and all of it. Not to confuse anymore, if you want to look at the YouTube or Facebook, and I've got support and documents there, and explains what happened back though. And this is just wishful thinking on my part. It may not even come true. I wish it would. After all these years, the letter from the FBI just stated ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now, about the same time they came out with um, some photos, and by the way, William Webster from Missouri was FBI director then, and I had gotten a letter that was personally signed from him in '80 after they April Fool Day after they put the antifreeze in me, okay? And I thought it was just, well, I should have died. It was a miracle I didn't. But anyway, back to, it was just signed by him. It was not really a form letter, and I carried it around with me, but I've told this. My bank was, safe deposit box was taken from Burt Lance Bank there in Marietta, along with a book and another letter from the FBI, etc., documents, other documents about my book, and rejection slips, but where it went before the board of Revell Publishing. Anyway, all that's gone, and I'm going to get back to this. About that same time, early 80 or in that time period, give or take a year, the FBI came out with some photos where they were behind closed doors, and I believe it was sheiks, and it was people who are supposed to be in charge of the governments, and it was behind closed doors where they thought they weren't being recorded or seen that the FBI got them on a sting. And I don't know that much came of it because so much happened to me then. But I did remember seeing the photos, and I'm not just talking about sheiks, or I'm talking about Americans that I don't know if the sting included them back then, and I don't know that it ever has. But I sure hope to God it has. I hope and pray that this is finally told after all these years, and you get to see what the sorry that did all this to me, and behind closed doors where they've lied and took bribes, and because their children or they have infractions, have committed a crime, they make deals to, in return for not prosecuting, they get me. And I'm going to go back to a man who came out when I was on the Appalachian Trail. I couldn't get a job. They'd shut me down. This is back in about 2006 in that time span. And really freezing, starving, etc. I got a tent. It was a cute one and kind of nice. So glad to get a tent. How's that? And I was down right at Mountain Pass Road and travel up to the old trail, Full Heart Knob, where I stayed and tried to live up and down there all those years. And I left the tent and I came back and got in after I'd slept in it a few days. It was really nice and comfortable for a tent. I'm so appreciative of any of it. I got back and I was tossing and turning, a little akin to what's happened to me here with the vertigo. I was so sick I was throwing up. I couldn't stand up. I crawled outside and here's this guy looking at me. He'd pulled his truck was there, pulled in. You could park there going up to the trail, and I could see his truck. And I thought, oh my God, no. He was standing there. He had soaked my brand new tent, which then I had nothing. But he said, you want me to take you over? Well, I think I asked him because I knew I was in pain. I was throwing up dizzy. And I just remembered the vertigo I've had here and talking about the fumes were similar to that. So terrific. Anyway, the man told me he took me over to the truck stop, and I paid for my motel room. And he told me that, and I had this said more than once to me, that if they helped me, they would have their bank account frozen. Can't remember. There was another one that said that too, more than two. So, anyway, what he's saying is, if they did that, then to me, these things to me that are illegal, it's all kinds of, they're terrorists, and they've broken the law. They've gotten into a conspiracy, all kind of laws that they've done, but they don't think they're ever going to pay for it. There's no consequence if they help out against me, because I'm just this poor little old monarch running around over here begging for help. So, and the law to work for me. And it would be nice to wake up and it was a sting, and you got the FBI sting, and you got to see who the good and the bad are, and the terrorists